Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautifully chaotic day in the soap universe, and we have a ton of drama to unpack. Grab your favorite mug of coffee, settle in, and let's get ready to dive deep into the latest Genoa City madness together. Let's talk about Nate Hastings. Oh, Nate. What are we even doing with this guy right now? Seriously, what are the writers doing with him? He has been striking out in the romance department so incredibly hard lately. It is honestly a little painful to watch. But also kind of fascinating. You guys know what I mean? It is like watching a slow-motion car crash, but the car is driven by a very handsome man in a very expensive suit. Let's rewind a bit and look at the pattern here. Remember Audra, Charles? Of course you do. Audra is. Well, Audra is Audra. She is a shark, a brilliant, beautiful, terrifying corporate shark. And Nate really thought he had something good going with her. They had that whole corporate power couple vibe going on. It was hot, I admit it. It was undeniably hot. They were scheming, they were drinking in hotel rooms, they were looking down on everyone else. But then she just completely blew it up. She blew it all up in his face. Why? Because she decided to team up with Victor Newman and scheme with Kyle Abbott. And honestly, who even thought that was a good idea? Audra just could not help herself. She had to go for the ultimate power play. She always has to win. And Nate was left standing there looking like a total fool. I mean, maybe I'm being too harsh on Audra. Maybe I am. She is just playing the game she knows best. But still, Nate got burned badly. He trusted her, or at least he thought they had an understanding, and she chose Victor and Kyle over him. That stings. That really stings. So then what happens? Nate pivots. He always pivots. He gravitates back to Victoria Newman. Which, let's be real, we all saw coming from a mile away. They have that history. That weird, complicated, corporate ambition-fueled history that never really went away. And for a second, a brief, fleeting second, it looked like they were actually going to have a full-on romantic reunion. The friendship was blooming again. The sparks were kind of there. Or maybe they weren't. I don't know. I was starting to buy into it. I really was. I thought, okay, maybe they have both grown up a bit. But then the truth came out, the massive, ugly, unforgivable truth about Lily Winters and that whole fake kidnapping scheme. Victoria knew. She knew the whole time that the kidnapping was fake. She sat on that information, and Nate found out. And you guys, that was it. Game over. Do not pass go. The relationship soured so fast it literally gave me whiplash. Nate just cannot deal with that level of deception when it comes to his family. Especially Lily. Even though he and Lily have had their own massive blowouts, he still protects her. So boom, another relationship down the drain. Striped for Nate Hastings. He is just wandering around Genoa City with absolutely no romantic future in sight. Just endless board meetings and lonely nights at the athletic club. But wait, hold on, stop everything. This is where it gets crazy. Because just recently, we got this scene, this random, seemingly out of nowhere scene at the GCAC. Nate bumps into Dr. Stephanie Simmons. Yes, Stephanie. And I am sitting there staring at my screen, watching this, and my jaw just drops because what? What is happening here? Stephanie is currently off in New York, right? She is helping Malcolm Winters with his bone marrow surgery, which is a whole other massive storyline that we are stressed about. Malcolm is fighting for his life. Kane is being shady. Lily is losing her mind. It is a lot. But Vivica A. Fox, the amazing actress who plays Stephanie, she promised that Stephanie is coming back to GC, and she promised there are going to be some unexpected moments for her character. Unexpected moments. That is soap code, you guys. That is absolute, undeniable soap code for a romance. But a romance with Nate, let's just stop and think about this for a second. Let's really think about it. Is there a spark there? Was that GCAC scene a chemistry test? You know how the writers do this. They do it all the time. They throw two actors in a room, give them some banter, and see if the audience reacts. They see if the camera loves them together. And honestly, I kind of felt something. Okay, maybe that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. There was a vibe, a definite vibe. But here is the massive, glaring elephant in the room. The age gap and the history. Oh my gosh, the history. Stephanie is not just some random woman passing through town. She is Olivia Winter's longtime friend, Olivia, Nate's mother. Stephanie was best friends with Nate's mom. And Stephanie has a son, Holden Novak, who is literally the exact same age as Nate. Holden is Malcolm's son. Nate is Malcolm's adopted son. Let that sink in. Just let that marinate in your brain for a second. It is messy. It is so incredibly messy. But is it really that crazy for the young and the restless? I mean, let's look at the track record here. Let's look at the history of this show. Sally Spectra. Sally has dated older men left and right. She even had that whole thing where she was eyeing Jack Abbott at one point. Jack Abbott. And what about Sienna Bacall and Noah Newman? The show loves a controversial age gap. They absolutely love it. It gets people talking. It gets the fans on social media fired up. And honestly, if they go there with Nate and Stephanie, the drama would be off the charts. Imagine the fallout. Just imagine it. Olivia is gone, bless her heart, but her memory is huge. How would the rest of the Winters family react? How would Malcolm react? Malcolm is dealing with aplastic anemia. He is literally fighting for his life, and now he has to hear that his adopted son is hooking up with his baby mama's best friend. Or wait, Stephanie isn't Holden's mom, but she is connected to all of this. Wait, let me get my facts straight. Holden is Malcolm's son. Stephanie has a son Holden's age. Okay, right? See, it is so complicated my brain is actually melting. I need a whiteboard to keep track of this family tree. Let's just focus on the Nate and Stephanie of it all. Nate needs someone who isn't playing corporate games with him. He needs someone grounded. Stephanie is a doctor. Nate used to be a doctor. A brilliant, life-saving surgeon before he lost his mind and became a corporate shark. Maybe Stephanie is the one who reminds him of who he used to be. Maybe she pulls him back to the medical world. Or at least back to being a decent human being who cares about saving lives instead of hostile takeovers. But the scandal, the sheer, unadulterated scandal of dating your mom's friend. I can already see the social media reactions. The fans on Twitter are going to lose their absolute minds. Some people are going to hate it. They will call it gross. They will say it ruins Olivia's memory and disrespects the family. But others are going to eat it up because it is soapy. It is classic, messy soap opera goodness that we live for. I mean, what were they thinking putting them in a scene together? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Nobody, not a single person. And that is exactly why we will watch it. We will watch every single trainwreck minute of it. Let's go back to that GCAC scene for a minute. It was just a brief chat. Stephanie didn't even recognize him at first. And then she realizes, oh my gosh, you are Olivia's son. You are little Nate. And now he is this grown, handsome man standing in front of her. The dynamic shifts right there. You could see it in her eyes. It went from polite stranger to, oh, hello there. And Nate was charmed. He was definitely charmed. You could see that little smile he gets. I keep second-guessing myself. I really do. Maybe I'm reading way too much into one tiny scene. Maybe it was just a nice moment to remember Olivia and tie the history together. Maybe I am just so desperate for Nate to have a good, juicy storyline that I am inventing things out of thin air. But the spoilers specifically point out this scene. They specifically ask if it was a chemistry test. They don't do that unless they are testing the waters. The writers are totally baiting us. And think about how this fits into the bigger pattern of the show right now. Lily is dealing with the Malcolm crisis and Kane's shady blackmail. Devin is mad about Holden and fighting with Abby about Mariah. The Winters family is a complete and utter mess right now. If Nate starts a secret romance with Stephanie, it adds a whole new layer of secrets and lies to a family that is already drowning in them. Because you know they would keep it a secret at first. They would have secret meetups at the athletic club, sneaking around corners. Avoiding Lily and Devin, oh, it writes itself. It really does. Plus, think about the medical connection. Stephanie is literally in New York right now dealing with Malcolm's bone marrow surgery. Nate is a former doctor. He knows exactly what Malcolm is going through medically. If Stephanie comes back to Genoa City needing to vent about the stress of the surgery or the complications, who is she going to talk to? Nate, he speaks her language. They could bond over medical jargon and the shared stress of trying to save Malcolm. It is the perfect setup for late-night coffee dates that turn into something more. The writers are laying the groundwork right in front of us. It is so obvious once you start putting the pieces together. I just hope they actually pull the trigger and go for it, because playing it safe with Nate is getting so boring. I don't know. I am torn. Half of me thinks it is brilliant and exactly the kind of shakeup Nate needs. Half of me thinks it is a disaster waiting to happen that will ruin his character even more. But maybe that is exactly what Nate needs right now. A disaster. A beautiful, messy disaster that has absolutely nothing to do with Newman Enterprises or Chancellor Winters. Just pure, unadulterated personal drama that forces him to look in the mirror. And let's be real, Nate has been so rigid lately. So stiff, he needs someone to loosen him up. Stephanie has that energy. She has that life experience. She wouldn't put up with his corporate nonsense. She would call him out, and I think Nate secretly loves being called out by strong women. Look at his track record. So what do you guys think? Are you here for a Nate and Stephanie romance? Do you think the age gap is too much? Or do you think it is just the right amount of scandalous for daytime TV? Let me know in the comments, because I'm going to be obsessing over this until we get more scenes of them together. We just have to wait for Stephanie to get back from New York. And when she does, you better believe I will be watching them like a hawk. Every look, every touch, every word. I am here for the mess. Give me all the mess.